Good morning. I'm Jennifer Ortiz. I am the owner of Executive Cuts. I'm very honored to be hosting yet again another press conference here. We had our first one 9 months ago, and it's full circle for this to be happening right here at my business. We're very proud as far as the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition to have such a big part in this announcement. And with that, I introduce you our Governor, Dan McKee.
Thank you. Thanks, Jennifer. Yeah, thanks, Jennifer. It was a little warmer there in July when we had the first press conference, but I think that we've warmed things up for the small business community in the state of Rhode Island over the last 12 months with the help of the coalition. So thank you for being hosting again at Executive Cuts, and Jen's been a real strong player in making sure that the voices of small businesses are being heard, because she's a small business owner, as I am as well. So I wanted to hold the announcement here, as Jen said, because this is where we kind of launched the effort on behalf of the small businesses as Lieutenant Governor. So as Governor, I want to make sure we keep that going. I just want to recognize Speaker Shekarchi for being here, Lieutenant Governor nominee Matos, who's as well, Senator Goodwin, thank you so much for being here, Secretary Pryor, Chris Parisi, co-founder of the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition, along with Chairwoman McAdee here for the small business community. So thank you so much for joining us today. I think it's no secret that I am a small business owner, and I know about this roller coaster that we continually are on. This pandemic has been like something like we've never seen before. I've seen the banking crisis, I've seen the internet bubble right around 9/11, I've seen the real estate collapse in 2008, but this has been a challenge for our small businesses. So everyone on our team, and it's great to have House leadership here, Senate leadership here, we're all on board to make sure that our small businesses get through this pandemic and come out stronger than they actually went into the effort. So today, within the first several weeks of my administration, today we're going to announce a small business grant program. The tax relief that we put in our budget was about $70 million of tax relief for small businesses. Over 17,000 businesses would be participating in those dollars. Today, this is part of a $30 million effort. So in the first 42 days, $100 million of relief going to our small businesses, and there's more to come. There's more to come. So this grant program is aimed at assisting small businesses, those small businesses that were impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. And like I said, we're going to use $20 million to get out 4,000, $5,000 grants as a bridge as we start to get the vaccines into the arms of everybody in Rhode Island so that we can get back to a full opening. And we're targeting that in the summertime. For the 4th of July parade, right, yes, Secretary, right? Yeah. So Secretary Pryor will be up here and walk you through some of the details shortly. And I do want to thank Secretary Pryor. He's been a champion for our small businesses, throughout the pandemic, and now as part of my team in terms of making sure that these things happen, along with Hannah Moore and Chief of Staff with the Commerce. Commerce will be hosting some Facebook activity live tomorrow at noon on their Facebook page to walk through the businesses through the application process, which is now going to be nice and simple, right, Stephen? Yes. Nice and simple. No done numbers, nice and simple. Okay. So we'll have a number of technical assistance programs. In addition to that, the Commerce Corporation approved some investment dollars, so we're going to have people on the ground, and we're going to be paying them to get out to all these small businesses about the grant program, in addition to making sure we're taking advantage of the PPP loans that are still available through the end of May, although I'm told that amount of federal dollars is shrinking fast, and we need to make sure we get right on top of that. So the good news is by mid-May, as I said, we expect over 70% of eligible Rhode Islanders to be partially protected against the COVID-19. And by the end of June, we expect 70% of eligible Rhode Islanders to be fully protected. And we've made great progress on the vaccination rollout. And that's the reason that we have hope that we're going to be active in our small business community for the summer and beyond the summer. So I want to invite the speaker up to say a few words, and then I'll ask Stefan to walk through some of more of the details on the program.
Thank you, Governor.
Speaker, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you all for being here today. It's a critical, important small business in our community. It's been said many times before, but it is the lifeblood of Rhode Island. I want to thank the governor for his great focus on small business. I also want to acknowledge the soon-to-be Lieutenant Governor, Sabina Matos, our Commerce Secretary, Stephen Pryor, who I am very proud to call my friend for many years, who's doing a phenomenal job in very difficult circumstances. Of course, my dear friend in the Senate, Mary Ellen Goodwin, who will celebrate a very important day on Thursday. So we look forward for her, and her commitment has always been for small business. And of course, my dear friend and the newly minted chairwoman of small business, Carol McEntee, who supported me. And when I sat down with Carol and I asked her, I said, Carol, what do you want in terms of a leadership position? She said, I want small business. I want small business because my community in Rhode Island needs a small business advocate. And she has a lot of seasonal businesses in her district, but she's hit the ground running. She's had a lot of elected officials, a lot of business people, and she always comes to me and says, what can we do more for small business? So today, with the governor's initiatives, Stephen Pryor's initiatives, Commerce Secretary Pryor, we're doing something good for small business. So I look forward to this day. It's an important day. I know what its struggle it has been for small business. This has been a difficult year. I'd like to thank Jennifer Ortiz, the owner of Executive Cuts, who I may be visiting sometime in the future. She promises a good haircut. And our small business leaders like Chris Parisi as well, for your advocacy and your commitment to small business in Rhode Island. I would like to encourage all of small businesses to participate in this program. Although elected officials are not, and I'm not eligible, but almost everybody else is. If you look through the criteria, this is a good program, and I certainly recommend anybody who's eligible to apply for this grant. Stephen has assured me that it'll be an easy application, and I have no doubt to doubt him on that. Applications will be open on Thursday and be available till the end of the month. These are leftover CARES money. We'll be qualifying grants of $5,000 each. I just want to say thank you to the people here with me who have shown a commitment, and thank you to small businesses for hanging in there. Better days are coming, better economic days, better pandemic days. I say to people, we're not in a pandemic, we're in a recovery. And being here today, helping with this process, shows that we're in a recovery. I look forward to opening all of Rhode Island later on this year. Thank you very much, and it's my great pleasure to turn it over to the Senate Whip, Mary Ellen Goodwin. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Governor McKee. In about 30 hours, our new Lieutenant Governor will be taking her role in state government, and I'm so excited to have Sabina Matos as our next Lieutenant Governor. As I said, my dear friend, the Speaker, Carol McEntee, my colleague in the House, Secretary Pryor. I'm here on behalf of the Rhode Island Senate, and I'm happy to be here this morning. Press Secretary Greg Parry wrote me a big old speech, but I really don't want to say it. I just want to take a moment to say that we in the Rhode Island Senate know that small business borne most of the burden here during this pandemic, and we're aware of that. And we know that this $30 million, thanks to the governor's initiative, will be very, very helpful to small businesses. So moving forward, I just want to say we don't have all the answers. So small businesses, reach out to us in the Senate, and I'm sure the House as well. We want to hear from you. We want to know how we can best help move this forward for you folks. You are the folks that know. Reach out honestly. Call us, text us, email. We'll respond. We want to hear from you. So again, folks, without much further ado from me, thank you again, Governor, for having me here. Thank you, Jennifer, for opening your business here. And so now, I guess we'll now turn over the mic to our Lieutenant Governor in waiting, Sabina Matos, our Council President.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's right.
Thank you.
Good morning. It's really great to be here with my colleagues in government from across government here joining to make this great announcement. I also want to thank Jennifer for opening her business one more time for us to be here and to make this announcement. When the governor interviewed me from the process of becoming his nominee for lieutenant governor, we spoke a lot and we talk a lot about small businesses. The two of us have this in common, have been working really hard to support the small business community. We talk about ensuring that small businesses who made it through this far through the pandemic can hold on just a little bit longer until we're out of in full recovery and the economy is open again. We talk about innovative spirits of the small business community and how their small business are such a big employers for the state of Rhode Island. We have about, the SBA's report said that we have about 100,000 small businesses in Rhode Island, and they employ over 229,000 individuals. So that's just an example of how important the small business community is in order to get our economy back on track. I want to say that this grand opportunity is going to help a small business continue their doors open until we get out of the pandemic. And I want to thank the hard work of the governor on making sure that the small businesses are supported. And also want to thank the Commerce Secretary, who I'm going to pass the mic next to, Stephen Pryor, for everything that he's doing to make sure that we support our small businesses community. With that, Secretary.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, and congratulations to you. We're so pleased that you are rising to this position and joining the McKee team. Thank you very, very much. Governor McKee, first and foremost, thank you for your devotion to small businesses and for ensuring that we capture every last dollar and channel it into this program to provide relief to our small businesses. This is, as the governor has indicated, a bridge to a time when we can open even more and, in fact, open altogether for small businesses and all businesses throughout our economy. We look forward to that day, but in the meantime, we can provide this modest but meaningful relief to our smallest businesses so they can make it through. We're very pleased to be able to do so. I want to thank the governor. I want to thank Speaker Shekarchi, who's been an unbelievable partner through this pandemic and through every aspect of building a strong economy in Rhode Island. Speaker Shekarchi, you're a fantastic partner and an amazing friend. I also want to thank Chris Parisi of the Small Business Coalition. You're going to hear from him. Chris has helped the Lieutenant Governor and now Governor McKee form this coalition and advocate. But in this recent round, Chris, you've actually gotten into the nitty-gritty of how should we phrase this question? Will businesses get through this without too much difficulty? Will this help? Bless you for it. I want to thank Senator Goodwin. I want to thank Chair McEntee. It's my job at the podium to share a bit more of the detail. In order to keep the program simple, we want to enable small businesses to understand what they need in order to get through it. It should be straightforward, but we want to help prep. So it's going to take me a little bit to share out some information, so please bear with me. The grant funds may be used to pay for things like wages, salaries, to avoid furloughs and layoffs, operational costs, and facilitating the reopening of a business, any expense associated with reopening. So that's number one. Deadlines, time frame. Applications will be accepted on a first come, first served basis beginning Thursday, April 15th, this Thursday, through Friday, April 30th, the end of the month. So a little over 2 weeks. After we complete this round of receiving applications, we'll determine whether there are resources left, whether we can reopen and even expand or adjust in any way, shape, or form. We'll do so in consultation with Governor McKee. On the commerceri.com website right now, you can sign up to receive information, and you can find out about some of the fundamentals of the program, commerceri.com. You can also get information about our Facebook Live, which is tomorrow at noon on our Commerce Facebook page. Of course, you can go straight to the Commerce Facebook page, Rhode Island Commerce on Facebook. Okay, eligibility. To be eligible, businesses must be a for-profit business based in Rhode Island. They must have less than $1 million in gross receipts in 2020. We're aiming for the smallest businesses, at least to start. They must have received less than $25,000 in state COVID-related financial assistance to date. And successful applicants must demonstrate a net financial need that exceeds the grant amount more than $5,000. To add to this, by way of a quick explanation, what we're going to do is ask businesses to compare their gross receipts in 2019 versus 2020, No tax no tax forms need to be submitted. That was something that tied people up in past rounds. But you need to show us that information. And if you showed a loss, you may not have received grants that exceeded that. In other words, your grants need to show a gap, a need, and then our grant will fill that need if it's $5,000 or more. It's deliberately straightforward in that way, and we hope businesses find that it makes sense. Sole proprietors are in, seasonal businesses are in, new businesses are in. We are having a very broad swath of the Rhode Island economy eligible. The vast majority of businesses are eligible. I now want to recognize the team that has gotten this done. I want to start with, first and foremost, our Chief of Staff, Hannah Moore, who's been a superstar. She's a superstar on every front, but she has rocked getting this done, and she's still working to get it done. So I want to thank our phenomenal Chief of Staff, Hannah Moore. Can I ask that we give her a round of applause? And the entire team at Commerce. It's really the entire agency that's working on this. Matt Sheaf is an exemplar, by the way, working on behalf of the governor, but also subbing in with the Commerce team. Brave River Solutions, right here in Warwick, is the technology firm that has gotten the website done. We do have the back end being performed by CRF, which is the firm that helped us last time with processing. But the simplified design that lets businesses get through, we hope, smoothly and seamlessly, that design has been done right here in Rhode Island by the digital firm Brave River Solutions. So check them out if you have future digital needs. And we want to thank the Department of Administration, Director Jim Thorson, the Division of Taxation, which is helping do integrity checks, making sure that businesses are in fact businesses, and helping us process the paper checks that go out. We anticipate that checks will take approximately 3 weeks from a completed application to get done. It may be sooner, but approximately 3 weeks. We also will have outreach partners, and I want to close on this note. Governor McKee has emphasized that having a straightforward, comprehensible program is crucial. Also key is that we reach out to the community of small businesses, let them know, recruit them for this small business relief grant and for PPP, which is absolutely crucial, and as the governor indicated, is running out of money nationally. So among our partners for this purpose, already selected are the Rhode Island Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, the Rhode Island Black Business Association, the Center for Southeast Asians, thank you, Chinavi, the Rhode Island Society of CPAs, and it goes on from there, who are going to be, in some cases, literally going door to door, safely, socially distanced, wearing masks, and also digitally and by phone and responding to phone calls to get it done. So we're incredibly grateful, Governor McKee, that you've enabled this. We're one of the only states that is continuously after it for small businesses, helping and helping more and helping yet again, and that's thanks to your leadership. And now I want to turn it over to Chris Parisi, who has been a godsend, advocating and getting in the trenches and helping to design and to make this work for small businesses. Chris Parisi.
Good morning. Thank you, Secretary Pryor. You've been very helpful with the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition and all the small businesses. We appreciate that. Thank you to Governor McKee, who has been a leader for our small business community for decades. And thank you for everyone else here, Lieutenant Governor, soon to be Matos, and all of our elected officials here from the General Assembly. This pandemic has hit small businesses extremely hard, as we all know. Many were hanging by a thread 9 months ago when some of us stood here at Jennifer's shop advocating for much-needed financial relief. Small businesses needed a lifeline, and with the efforts of then Lieutenant Governor McKee and our Rhode Island Small Business Coalition, they received the lifeline in the form of a $15 million grant program. This economic crisis is not over. This pandemic is not over, and I see it firsthand as a small business owner myself at Trailblaze Marketing with clients of all sizes and leading the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition with members from all industries. And although we see a light at the end of the tunnel, some businesses are not sure how many days they have left, and fortunately, we're here to announce that we have a relief program specifically made for those businesses that need a fighting chance to survive. And great news, This grant program is simplified. You don't have to be an algebra expert to calculate how much money you will receive, nor do you need an accountant to fill out multiple pages and submit multiple documents. This program, one page, one grant amount. Simplified for the Rhode Island small businesses that are in serious need of relief. So when myself and others at the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition proposed a solution to commerce, which we were grateful to be part of the solution, we said, keep it simple, make it equal, and make sure we're helping out those smaller businesses that can barely afford rent and other essential bills. Make sure we include those businesses opened in 2020 that might have been left out. And that program does just that. So thank you everyone for being here, and especially to Governor McKee for his consistent and Thank you to Governor McKee for his consistent and substantial support for small businesses. I'll now pass it over to the governor for any questions.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, Chris, nice job there. I tell you, we're going to do a great handoff to Lieutenant Governor Matos in terms of the coalition that you were able to put together with Justin and Laurie and then Jennifer and many, many other small businesses that some of them I see them right here today. I see Judah back there as well with his no risk. Yes, there's no risk fitness center, which the fitness centers are in that category that have really have suffered quite a bit. I was on, before I open the questions, I was on a call today with a small business in South Kingstown who texted me, and I called him right back, and he was saying, just get me through September. I got to get through September. He's already used, that family has already used their personal savings to get him to this point. Plus, he was very grateful, Stefan, for a $50,000, grant last time. So we got to make that happen. So one of the ways to get shots in the arms, please get your shots in the arms. We're going to be opening up this economy if we do that. And then we're going to give all these small businesses not a fighting chance, but we're going to give them the footing that they need to really prosper so that our communities can do the same for all the families that live in the state of Rhode Island. I'll open up any questions to anybody that's here that you might have. And if not, then thank you all for being here today.
I've spoken to a number of small business owners here, specifically in the financial district, and they say the biggest thing that would help them get through is to have office workers come back from remote work, and even more than that, the Superman building built. Do you have any strategies for returning office workers to downtown, and then secondly, the Superman building getting back?
Well, one of the key things that we did last week, we went out for an RFP to break down the field hospital so that the convention center can be open, so that we can start doing business at the convention center. We'll bring thousands of people down in this area. We have set the footprint now at, I believe, at 50% on the office buildings, so office buildings can be in place at 50%. And we are talking specifically about vaccination programs into that area, including a specialized strategy for restaurant workers as well. So we're definitely focused on that. The Superman building, we expect that something good is going to happen there. Certainly over the next year, I believe that we have the ability, especially when we start talking about the need to create an economy in the state and take the focal points there. That Superman building has been empty for far too long.
Can you elaborate at all on what that might be for the Superman building?
No, I think that right now all I can tell you is that it's a priority as Providence is. Providence got hit really hard. Jennifer can tell you right here in terms of her business right here. We know that. We need to get activated in Providence. First things first, convention center opening up, get our office buildings open up, support the small businesses that are currently here with that foot traffic, and then the long-term strategies are Superman building and other economic opportunities throughout the state of Rhode Island.
Governor, one thing
Yes.
that came up during the live stream here, just in the comments, some businesses that were shuttered in 2020 that have been out of business since maybe June of last year. Is there any funds to revive those businesses as part of this package?
Future rounds.
What's that?
Future rounds is the hope.
Yeah, so we're aware of that. Businesses that are reopening, they do qualify for this really small bridge in that respect. And then there is shuttered funds that are coming way through the federal dollars, I believe, right, Stefan?
So.
Yeah, we hope that. So we're going to, any dollar we can put on the ground. But think about this, though, too. when we get this $20 million out in the community, that's going to have a compounding effect, right? So that's going to compound 3, 4, 5 times. We still have reserved $10 million of the $30 million that we found that was left over from the CARES Act dollars that didn't get distributed, that the small business expected to get distributed. That's why we're doing that here today. And that's going to be on a full reopening strategy. So we've reserved some dollars just in case we get more than 4,000 applications, right? Maybe we'll get a few more than 4,000. And then we also want to make sure that we use those dollars in conjunction with a real aggressive restart reopening strategy in the state of Rhode Island. Okay?
So
Thank
to
you.
be clear, there's $10 million left, right, of the state's CARES Act funding?
Of the dollars that we were able to, isolate through the budget process and taking a look at what was spent and what was appropriated for the small businesses, we identified $30 million. So, and that was from the 2020 funding, right? So, and then we've reserved, we're appropriating $20 million for $4,000, $5,000 grants, and we've reserved $10 million for a restart program, like a reopening strategy. We don't know what that's going to look like at the moment. We're working with the Small Business Coalition, but I can see that's going to benefit the small business community in just a few weeks. We'll have another way to kind of roll that out after we get through this application process.
This funding that you're talking about today, this is from last year?
These are from last year's, and I've said many times, right, that a certain amount of monies were appropriated, a certain amount of monies were allocated, and there was a certain amount of monies that weren't allocated. This represents $30 million that was appropriated to help small businesses that we're getting back into circulation right now.
Just while I have you, just on vaccines quickly, after the briefing Friday, there were several states that had closed some of their vaccination sites because of Johnson & Johnson allergic reactions. How concerned are you that feeds into the hesitancy portion that we've talked so much about, of people not following through to get shots or signing up? I mean, you released 20,000 appointments Friday. As of this morning, there were still open spots. Do you feel like that's playing a role?
I think that everything plays a role, and that's why we need to continue to do the job to let people know that it's safe, it protects their lives to get vaccinated. So we're just going to continue that work, and I've expressed that many times during the process since I was been governor and prior to that. There's going to be a point in time when our supplies are going to outweigh our demand. We need to keep on pushing really as hard as we can. And that's why we're here today on behalf of the small businesses. We're not going to be able to open up the state fully until we get to a certain threshold of people vaccinated. And we're not going to stop our work until we get as many eligible people who want a vaccine vaccinated. And we got to make sure that they understand the hesitancy is unfounded, it's safe, and it does save lives, and it gets us back, our economy back, and it gets our schools reopening too, which we'll be talking about that on Thursday.